Everybody has a dream, right? The dream has no value until you take steps, work on it. Otherwise, there is no point. Just become a wish. Many people, they have a dream. They always say you'll become a millionaire by starting a company, by not working with any company. So you want to be a millionaire, you need to start a company, start a business. This is a common thing everybody say. So the biggest thing is, if you have idea, you need a funding. We are living, nothing is free in this world, yeah? Money matters. There's a lot of challenges, especially in difficult time. Getting the funding, start bootstrapping or let it run, get the prototype, it's very difficult. The funding is very crucial part. What do you think? Share your perspective.
So I think, I've run a company, multiple companies, and then I've been an investor as well. So if you look at when I get the investor, then actually I feel that there is more money, than what startups need, and actually there is lack of good ideas. And I think if the idea is good, and if it resonates with investors, it's actually not that hard to raise money. So if you look at our journey, one of the companies that I started about in 2021, which is called Fire, we started in April of 2021. We bootstrapped it for 4 months. So we put in like a couple of $1 million to start the company. And then, in October, we were able to raise about 25-30 million in the first round at a valuation of 110 million. Of course, then we raised more. But I think being at the right place at the right time really matters when it comes to funding. So I think choosing the right industry. So it shouldn't be like if you're a musician, okay, if you like playing music, you should start a company only in that space. That's not the way to go about it. Because if you look at the way the world is changing right now, when you look at technology, AI and blockchain kind of are the technologies which are changing the world, and they are the fastest. They are the fastest movers when it comes to getting access to most amount of capital, and of course, for obvious reasons that it is changing the way the storage of data and finance happens. Okay? So if you look at the whole world, I think there are only two things which are very important. One is data, and the second is finance. So if you look at, if you go back 20 years in time, or 25 years, internet was something that nobody knew it was going to become so big. And most of the biggest companies right now, when you look at companies which are billions of dollars, I mean, I'm talking like even more than 100 billion, say. Most of those companies were built in the 1990s, in the internet space. If you look at the 2010s, anything that was started in social media kind of became massive. So that was it. And when you look at blockchain or when you look at industries like artificial intelligence, they kind of gained traction in the last 5 years because that's the way the world is moving. So I think when you have an idea, it's very important to choose the right place, the right time, and then you need to choose the right team. So it's the idea, then the team. Once they're set in place, once you have a very good team which can execute your idea, then I think that's when you look at raising money. And I think raising money is not that hard. It looks challenging, of course, when you start initially, but I think when you go along the journey, you realize that it's easier than, it's very easy to kind of raise money if your idea is good and if you're in the right place at the right time.
That's very, very interesting. So what I know, when you want to start the company, always say it should be from your heart. You should have a passion on it. That's what everybody say. And moreover, what I know, I read one of the book, it should be a painkiller. It shouldn't be a supplement. If your idea is good, if you think it's a painkiller, or more importantly, you need to keep on ask yourself, what one service or company which everybody wants, but nobody is doing it. That's the idea. If this makes true, that's the idea, successful idea. What one company idea everybody wants, but it's not existing, it's not available right now. That's the idea, how to build. And based on it, you build for the business plan, forecast, and everything. So, let's say they assume the idea is this way. Yes, it's a painkiller. Now, it needs a funding. What is the first step the entrepreneur or the founder has to do to go to access the capital, to access the investors? to get the right investors? What tips you give for them?
So I think that if you like are getting in say ahead. So now first you need to know which are the roadmap that you decide needs to be executed by a team. So you should have say 5 to 6 very strong people who can execute your idea, in the next 3 years. And then you need to have solid projections based on past data on where the company would grow in the next 3 to 5 years, or where you would be in terms of financial projections. Once those are in place, I think you should already know which are the investors, which are the most suitable investors for this particular idea. When we talk about people who are most actively investing into healthcare. When you sorted it out, I think then you kind of meet the investors, and then I think it's just about getting the first investor, which is kind of takes a bit of time to get your lead investor. Once you get your lead investor and he gives you the valuation, then I think it becomes very easy to get follow-on investors who kind of end up following the same term sheet that you get from your first investor and make easy raise the capital. So I think again in this case, if you look at what I was initially speaking was being at the right place at the right time. So I think if you've chosen your industry, if you think it's going to change the world, it's going to get a lot of traction in next 3 to 5 years in the right place. Then I think location also matters. Right now, if you look at the way most of the investors are now flocking to Dubai because of taxation, multiple benefits.
True, true.
So now it's easy to meet people here versus say in other countries. So I think that also matters. And then once you meet the one right investor and you get the valuation and the funding, I think then it becomes very easy to raise your rest of the capital.
That's very informative. What I heard you said about networking relationship. This is a very crucial word, very important in a business. Moving on to audience, anybody has idea about startup?
Yeah, network is your network.
Exactly. Audience, so what do you have a questions about starting fundraising? Do you have any doubt or anything how to rise? Please go free and ask.
Good afternoon.
Thank you.
So often the startups face the problem that they need investors that are extremely interested in investing in whatever you're creating or developing, but they are willing to join once someone else has joined as an investor first. So you have any advice or experience on how to tackle the issue of getting the first out of potentially even many, because once the first is there, the rest are waiting to join?
I think honestly, your first investor is the most crucial piece in solving the whole puzzle. And your first investor ideally doesn't invest in your idea or your or anything. They invest in you basically. So if they think you are a horse which is going to run fast and they can bet on you, they will invest in you. Okay, because the valuation for the first round is always very, it's very hard to kind of figure out what's the right valuation for an idea in the first round. So, like when we built, in this company, we valued ourselves at 110 million. I mean, and seed round at 110 million are not easy to get, right? But we got our first investor who believed in us that we could execute it, and so we started with 100 million. Now that's I think something which the founder, whoever starting the company needs to believe in themselves, that they should know that if we are basically valuing ourselves at an X amount of dollars, I can easily build a company which will be valued at 10x in 5 years or 20x or 50x in the next 10 years. I think that's very important. So the first investor, I think that's the most important piece in solving the puzzle. And I think you should take your own sweet time to get the first investor, because when you get a valuation from your first investor, after that things are easy because other investors kind of just follow on and invest in the same round, and so things become easy because the term sheet that you get from the first investor is kind of used with other investors as well. But I think and also it's very good if the first investor is already known to you, like kind of you know them for a few years, so they believe in your talent. They've seen how well you've worked in the past few years, so they know that if you've done well in the first 2-3 companies, you will end up doing well in the fourth company as well. So I know if you look at most of the startup, the first investor is always somebody who you already know from some years, or you know them. And a lot of people actually are now doing family run, I think, because they want to set a valuation, so they end up getting money from their relatives or friends and get their valuation set before they go for a second round. So a lot of people are doing that as well.
So basically, the first investor is like a marriage. I'm sure you don't want to end up in a bad marriage. It will be very dirty. The best thing, in my opinion, you start with your own. If you have your own capital, start the whatever idea you have a prototype and have a track record, test in the market, and you become happy with yourself. Your idea is good and working. And slowly, there are many different type of investors. There are friends and family, angel investors, venture capitalists, private equity. There are many, or debt. Depending on the stage of your company, you need to approach. But my suggestion, go with your own. If you can, something start with your own fund, maybe your savings, maybe credit card. Try it out, get the track record, get some profits, test in the market. That's very crucial. Once it is already tested and successful in the market, it's very easy for you to pitch to the people. And when you're choosing the people, depending on which stage you are, maybe an angel, maybe a venture capitalist, do your own due diligence about the investor. What is their goal? There are a lot of time the venture capitalists replace the founders. Even Apple, Steve Jobs is not exception. He was fired from his own company. Yeah, you know how humiliating and painful. So make sure the investor is aligning with your goals. You both are happy that you're taking this company for long term, and know your capital well. I mean, you need to know how much money you want, why you want, what's the use of this. You need to know all the specific details. All the fine lines, very, very important. There shouldn't be any misunderstanding in the later days. Okay, I give this money for this purpose, you are doing something else. So these things you need to assign. Have a good business plan, have a track record. If you have a market research, back it up with a good business pitch. Maximum the pitch should be a 10-15 page, not more than that. Have an executive summary. That summary has to go with everybody. Network with everybody. Go to events like this. Meet people. Share your idea. Get the opinion. Don't jump into any investor just because he has money. There are a lot of shady and lot of people are there who will screw you off. Don't do this. Do your own research, due diligence. Once you are convinced, go for it. But have the terms very clear and black and white. All the best to you. Yes, anybody else? Go for it. Any other question? Right.
Hello. I want to ask any easy way to get trust from investor?
I didn't get this.
Any easy way
Easy way.
to get trust from investor?
Easy way to get trust from the investor. Trust. Pratik, would you like to take it? Would you like to answer?
You can answer, I can answer.
Yeah, follow. Let me go. Why investor is coming to you? Ask yourself. Nobody want to do bad investment, yeah? No one want to do bad investment. Sometimes it's a game of, okay, that company is really big and nice. I'm an investor. They want to say this to the peer pressure. The best way to trust investor is your product only. It should be a painkiller. You should know your own due diligence. Why I'm doing this? Don't just start the company just because you want to make money. It should be aligned with your goals, value, passion. It should come from your heart. It should be in market. As I said before, this company should be everybody want, but nobody has it. If it is a monopoly, it's amazing. So these things is very attractive for the investors. Okay, why the investor comes? He want to put money. He want to make it 10x or 5x. Down the line, this is why he's coming. That's the only way. Your product should speak. Your company should speak. This have a track record. It has a market research. It has a good pitch. It has a good people, good place. These things are very attractive. Obviously, investor will come to you. They will put the money, but make sure, as I said before, why you need this money. So let's say you need a 1 million. Why you need 1 million? You need to know why. have it proper plan. Okay, I'm doing it for expansion, I'm doing it for the product type or prototype, I'm doing for the market research or whatever, team expansion. Have the details very, very specific. Your pitch should be there, all this answer, all the first page, the executive summary, it should be having all the answer. By seeing the first page itself, he will come to you and ask, then you can send the more details, which the pitch deck might be 10-15 page, not more than that. It should have all the answer with the financial projections are very, very important. If the numbers are not good, nobody will come to you, they won't go ahead at all, they won't reply to your calls. Is it answers? Pratik, would you like to add something?
I think you pretty much answered pretty well, but if you want to give trust of investors, simple thing is give a sexy return, good returns. You know, if you give a good return to your investor, they'll be happy, they'll be investing more money with you in your next startup. So most of our investors actually have been follow-on investors. So if you're running a series of companies, you are investors in your first company. Ideally, if you've done well in your first company, they will invest in your second. If you've done even well, they'll invest in your third. So actually, that is why serial entrepreneurs get bigger and higher valuations. When they start a company. So if a new founder, like the first time founder is starting a similar idea, everything is same, would get a very lower valuation. Like he would struggle to even get a first valuation of $10 million versus somebody who's done 5 and then they'll start the company with say $200 million. That's just because they have a proven track record and they've given returns. So people trust them that they will eventually multiply the money. In the end game, it's all about building something which is cool, which is being used by people. I think that's one. The second is of course to generate good money.
Great, well said. Yeah.
Hi guys, my name is Jacob. I'm actually a travel tech company, startup company from Hong Kong. We've been in the journey of looking for investors for a while, and I think since COVID and everything else that's happened, the market in Asia has been quite subdued in terms of funding, and people have gone scared over the travel and the tourism industry. I'm not sure whether that sentiment has actually flown through to the local environment, and part of the reason why I'm asking is because pretty much we've been advised to say, hey, look outside of Asia, because your product's available and actually ready to go elsewhere, and other investors should be looking towards actually what we're doing as well.
So actually, I think it's all about the network. Where you're trying to tap funding from, because I think there's some disconnect here, because I know a lot of travel companies. Like one of them, I've invested in them. It's a company called StayNext. They work in Korea. They work in a lot of Southeast Asia. So they work in Dubai. They work in India. They work in Ireland. They work in a lot of places. And they've been able to raise, I think, $10-15 million, this year. But just after COVID, I think they raised their first round of 2.5 million. And I think when you look at, the company that I started, Fire, of course, it's not a travel company, it's a blockchain company, but we raised money right after COVID, and we raised more than 100 million in a span of 2 years. So I actually don't think that. I think after COVID, there's been access to more capital. In specifically Southeast Asia, because a lot of the investors now because of COVID, they are happy to invest in businesses which are like work from home. So new businesses, innovative businesses where the churn of capital is super quick. That's actually been happening. So I think you're probably tapping the wrong network. I would say if you just kind of tap the right network, I think the idea is good, and if you have a good team and if you're doing well, you should be able to raise money.
You asked this no stupid questions. Do you mind if I connect with you guys?
Sorry?
Do you mind if I connect with you guys and actually have a further conversation?
Yeah, you're welcome.
Of course.
Welcome.
After the session.
Which industry it is? The company you meant? Traveling.
Travel tech. So we basically build out.
Travel. Right.
We basically build out the hotel systems, booking systems, directly connect hotels and the underlying clients.
So basically, I invested in this company. This company is called Stainless. They're working with I think more than 1 million hotels. I connected them. So the founder of Booking.com, Jeff Hoffman, is an investor in my company. He's a very close friend of mine. So I made him invest in this company.
Model is slightly different, but I'll connect with you.
Yeah. So now they're getting into tokenization also, loyalty rewards program, etc. We're doing loyalty rewards, blockchain-based loyalty rewards program, even for companies like Eat My Trip, which is a company based in India. It's a publicly listed company. So, I think travel industry after COVID has picked up like crazy. So I think you're definitely tapping the wrong network.
Anybody else? Any other question?
Yeah, how can we tap right network for funding or getting connected with investors?
I think it's hit and try. Like it's like speed dating. You date 10 girls and then you finally find one girl to marry, right? So I think same with investors. You end up you end up kind of needing 25 investors and you find one right one, because all you need is one good one and you're done. But that one good one, you don't know. Maybe you're lucky, you find the first one which is very good, who wants to stay with you for a long while, or then you find that they like the investors you go along well. Like you get to know, right? Like it's something that you get to know. But I think the best part of running a startup is the first 3 to 6 months you quickly figure out whether the investor is right or wrong. If it's wrong, you move on quickly, you get the right one. Because I think for a lot of people, they make mistakes of finding wrong investors, which end up killing the company basically. So I think it's very important to find somebody who believes in your vision and mission and who believes in you.
My thought before you go to the investors, start that one with your own fund, have a track record, have a market tested, the product is strong and good, and there is a market demand. Ask yourself, is it a painkiller or vitamin? If it is a vitamin, don't do it. Because everybody wants painkiller. Very rarely people do go for vitamin. And this is number one. Number two, have this, the why. Why I am doing this company? Is it along with your passion? Is it your heart says and you would like to put in blood and sweat into it? That's the first step, tick. The second one, there are a lot of websites like Crunchbase and all. Find the relevant investors for you. If some investors already invested in the same industry of yours, it's easy for them to invest in your company as well. Before you go for the investors, have your all due diligence ready. Which stage you are, how much money you want. If somebody is interested, don't drag them. You should give the information very quickly, so he will come back into you. Because if you allow them to shop around, they will go to some other company. So make sure you have the documentation, homework is done, and the product, that's more important. And network. LinkedIn is there. There is a site Crunchbase, right? We will see Crunchbase, yeah.
Crunchbase is mostly for valuations. I think for networking.
To find the company, where they're invested. So yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you a funny story. People don't believe this, but actually we raised about 7.5 million just on Instagram. People don't believe this. That happened to us in 2021. So yeah, I mean imagine a platform like Instagram, we raised about 7.5 million just from Instagram in hardly 3 months. So I think it's about just finding the first right investor, and I think then you do well from there. So yeah, and LinkedIn obviously is very, very hard for sure. But I think social media in itself is part of it, and you need a lot of people like at these events. You need a lot of good people, and all you need is one. Like that's what I'm saying. You don't need 15, 16 people. So, but that one you can maybe meeting 100 people and then you find the right one.
There is another app called Eventbrite. There is a lot of networking event happening. So go for it and see, meet people, see. And yeah, inshallah, something will happen, man. Anybody else?
Yeah, my question is related to what you're talking about right now. Is how do you find investors? Through Instagram, it said that how do you send DMs to people directly, or how do you propose your idea through a DM?
No, for us it was the other way around. We never DM'd anyone. So from our company channel, collectively we had more than I think 2.5 million followers. So we basically were just sharing. We did not intend to raise money from Instagram. Okay, it was the other way around. We were just sharing stuff like what we were doing. Okay, like we were sharing things like we are doing, we're building a sustainable blockchain, we're doing this, we're here, all basically updates. And then we had an inflow of people, coming in and asking how can we invest in the company because it was basically a tokenized form of investment, right? So it was as low as somebody would invest $20,000. So 2021, 2022, we received a lot of people who wanted to invest. They all invested 2023, their money became 7 times. So when their money became 7 times, they end up investing more. You know what I mean? But that's a chain. Once you tap into the first few ones, and if you give a return, then it kind of spirals down, and you get more and more people.
So I would like to add, don't. There is a value about PR, publicity. Focus more on it. You should publish it. Write a blog about it. Write in the LinkedIn. Let people to talk about it. So when the more people talk about it, you will become very attractive. So investor, when you approach them, when you are managing this company and everybody knows this, there are a lot of articles written about it. It's easy for you to, the investor to come to you or to go to him. So don't underestimate the power of PR. Yeah, we are in a social media, right? We are in an internet age. Use it fully. Before this, make sure your product is good. That's more important. And then do the PR, paid or free, whatever. Use all the channels. And yeah, things will work out, inshallah. Anybody has any question? Go for it. Rising fund, startup. Ask.
Don't be shy. No question is silly. This is the insights and support you. So if you have any questions, no matter how small you think it is,
Ask any question. Fundraising, startup idea. Go for it. You won't have another chance. Yes, bro.
Just want to ask, any best idea for startup for 2022? This year for 2025.
Best idea. You're asking idea from us. How much you pay for me if you sell it? It's a business.
Another?
Ideas is very valuable, man. All the company you see, it's all started with one idea. Apple is an idea, Facebook an idea, WhatsApp is an idea, Instagram an idea. Don't underestimate idea. It's $1 billion. Yeah. So I cannot give you idea for free. Would you like to give it for free?
No, I mean, and also if you take somebody else's ideas, then you wouldn't be able to execute it.
No,
It
you
should be
can.
your own idea.
It should be yours. It should come
be
from
yours.
you, man. Because the passion has to come from you.
If it's somebody else's ideas, then you will become an employee in that company. You cannot start when the other person will start and then hire you, right?
But yeah, having jokes apart, the market, it's all going through the fintech, the AI, crypto, blockchain. These things are fire now. The general one, healthcare is always there. Healthcare.
I think AI healthcare is something that is going to go crazy in the next
Yeah.
longevity, how to increase lifespan. So there are some industries which are I think going to grow like crazy. AI is going to obviously grow. Blockchain is obviously now $2.5 trillion. I think I'm expecting it to become $10 trillion by the next 5 to 7 years. So that's something that's going to grow. Fintech, which is crypto, DeFi, that's going to grow. AI healthcare, if you can diagnose diseases, with AI, that's going to grow. I mean, there are multiple industries, but that's going to grow.
The best idea I give, ask yourself, wherever you go, when you suffer something, you see Uber, why they started? Because they couldn't get the proper transport. That's how they started. It comes from them. They suffered it, so they give a solution. You ask, what is the one company, one service everybody want, even I want, which is not available right now? That's the idea. That will become $1 billion company. Trust me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I would like to ask, how do you validate an idea?
Right. That's very interesting question. Once you have an idea, sleep on it. Check. You don't take action immediately. Validate. If you can, start that process within yourself, with your capacity, with your money. Try this in the market. Test it. If you get a traction, if you make money, even $100, $200, get the feedback. If it is, then you will know the traction. Then you will get new idea. Okay, it's working out. Then build on it. Maybe that's a rough idea. Maybe you need to improve on it, work on it, improve it, keep on dwell on it, and then you know how it is. You will come to know it's the bad or good. Sure, it will be good. All the best to you. I know you have some idea. All the best to you, man.
Okay, I think we have time for one more question. Is here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks so much. My question is about the red flags for you as an investor in startups.
Excellent. That's a very good question, man. Do you remember the Apple story? Huh? Steve Jobs. He's been fired. There are a lot of red flags. You need to have a conversation when you go meet investors. Have a relation, build a relationship with him. Talk to him as a person. Understand him well. What is his objective? Has he fired any founders before? How was his investment before? Has he done any bad investment? Get his perspective well before you ask his money. Know him well. You will come to know. Your instinct will tell you, oh my God, no, he's not the guy for me. If you both are not aligned, you're getting some instinct. Trust your instinct. You will get to know, no, he's not the right guy for me. Because when you start company, you have the idea, vision, right? That's more important. Whether this vision aligning with his goal, he is supporting it, or he just come for money and fire you in a year time, replace you. You know, these things, the values are very, very important. You need to get to know him as a personal level. And you will come to know. Pratik?
Yeah, I mean, I think one red flag is some people saying that, you know, I am working in a job right now, but I want to start a company. Can you friend? I think that's a big red flag. So I think time's up, right?
Time's up, yeah. Great. That's a wonderful session. Thank you for all. But your time up. But great. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.